No, I'm willing to hear you out about your like how you measure it flat. Sure, we can get into that at some point. I genuinely am more curious about the other stuff, though. That's why I came to ask.
We talk about flat Earth in here and our measurements, so you're in for a treat. Um,
Yeah.
so one such measurement was at Lake IJssel in the Netherlands. A group called FE Core Field Engineers Core, they're an independent research group. They conducted a long distance laser engineering test over Lake IJssel. This measures about 25 miles across, or 40 kilometers. So they positioned their laser at one end, 1.5 meters high. They positioned a target at the other end, 1.5 meters high. They took measurements of the water, or of the surface, I should say, and of the air. And the laser was able to shine a beam onto its target. The target was able to see the beam, and not just like a beam dispersion, but the actual centroid, the very middle of the beam.
Sure.
So if Earth is a globe, there'd be 90 meters of curve, of a hump in the way. Instead, there were no meters.
Um, you look, bro. I'm probably too much of a sheep. My brain is too small to understand like how the measurement like that works because that doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. Like genuinely, I don't know how that proves it.
I think some basic context, is that what you're looking for? About what we mean by
Yeah,
flat
yeah, yeah,
Earth?
yeah. Treat me like I'm an actual like
Oh, hold
baby.
on one second. My
Like,
wife's just calling me back in a second.
oh, goods, bro. Treat me like I'm a baby, bro. Like, treat me like I don't know shit because I probably don't, and you know, probably don't. Because like I understand, like obviously a lot of the world is flat, like yeah, from our perspective, right? You know. Also, what I find really interesting, the photos of Earth are like Photoshop from space, right? I find that interesting. But I don't understand what you mean with this laser thing. Like, I don't understand like how that denotes it. Like, you're gonna have to explain the context as to why that would be proof. You know?
Do you realize you just said treat me like a baby and then talk about space and then return flabbergasted to lasers not having curvature on the surface?
Yeah,
Where are you going?
I'm just having a conversation with you, man. Is that so hard to believe? Like,
What's the
what?
radius of the sphere that you believe in?
I don't know.
What's the distance to the horizon on the sphere you believe in?
I don't know. I haven't come here to argue that the Earth is round.
So, how do you falsify the claims that
I'm not trying
you've
to
been told?
falsify anything that you've telling me. I'm not trying to falsify it at all. Stop assuming that I am. I've told you how many times now?
Okay, so
How many times
they
now, man? How
claim
many
that the
times?
radius value is 3,959 miles. So
Sure.
that would mean that the distance to the horizon should be 1.2 times the square root of the observation height in feet. That'll give you the distance to the horizon in miles. If you go out and you make your own observation and you see farther than what that claims, you are not looking at the radius value of the Earth that they claim. And then when you watch the horizon change distances to you, then you are not looking at a sphere. You're looking over a flat plane with visibility changing your distance based on the environment.
That doesn't
So
make sense
your
to me.
sphere from school is falsified by math and reality. You being on a sphere is falsified by reality itself. The horizon being the conjunction of the earth and the sky, objects are supposed to be disappearing bottom up due to the ground, its shape, causing obstruction, similar to you and your buddy standing on a hill. Walk away from each other, and the hill is now in between the two of you, and your feet are covered, and then your waist is covered, and now you're only staring at each other's heads, peeking over the hill.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen with the horizon. You can see like boats disappear bottom up. There's plenty of reasons and why that happens, and it is not the case that it has to be due to the ground. You could put a little sailboat on a driveway that's flat and then lay down on the ground and watch the boat disappear bottom up because the heat from the concrete begins to distort the base of the boat. You can put a coffee can on the floor in your house, walk away and lay down, and then you'll see that as you get further away from the coffee can, the base of that coffee can will disappear because its angular size is shrinking.
Yeah. Like, bro, I don't know, like I don't know shit about measuring anything. You know what I mean? Like,
This is even easier than that, right? Because, like, I'll give you an example. If we have a 10-mile body of water, let's say we have a 10-mile lake. Doesn't matter. It could be any
wait, I
body
don't
of
use
water.
miles. What's
Oh,
in
it's
kilometers?
okay. 10 miles is like 16 kilometers.
All right, yeah, gotcha.
Okay, and over 16 kilometers, there should be 66 foot of curvature, which would be like 1/3 of that would be in meters, so like 22 meters of curvature. Okay, that's
Yeah,
kind of like a 6-story building, 7-story building. Okay, so if we
yeah,
go to a 10-mile lake and just say I was standing on one side of the lake and you were standing on the other side of the lake on the
yeah,
shoreline,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
shouldn't be able to zoom in across the lake and wave at you or see you. But
Wait, how much curvature should it have? You said
22 meters, like you would have to be
22 meters.
23 meters tall, and then I would just be able to see the top meter of you, giant
Yeah, yeah,
head sticking out over the horizon. So yeah, like, but what we find is that there's zero curvature, right? We can go out and test any 10-mile body of water and there's zero curvature, but on the globe you would have to have that 22 meters of curvature over that 16-mile distance. And then we'd
yeah,
go try double that distance, okay? Because it's exponential, because you've got to square it. So over 20 miles, there would be 266 foot. So whatever, what's that in? 200, so 20 miles, that's like 30 kilometers approximately. And then that would be 266 foot of curve. So it's like 80,
yeah.
80 meters or something like that, 85 meters. But once
Okay.
again, we can just zoom in and we can see the shoreline clearly, and we just see flat water the whole way across the 20-mile body of water. That's not possible on a globe. You have to have that curvature there if the Earth's a globe, because of gravity, because of the way that it's explained to work on the globe model. And we can test that over and over again. We can go to different countries, different places, and we could shoot lasers across. We could shoot radio signals across. All sorts of different ways. And this has been done hundreds of times. It's been done by engineers, PhDs, all sorts of people have gone out and done these tests, and some of them trying to debunk flat Earth, right? And becoming flat earthers in the process. But yeah, it's just about testing the claims that should be there if the Earth's a globe. And then in the context of what flat Earth means, it's just large distances that don't have any curvature. It's like a surface description, rather than, we're not claiming to know the shape of the Earth. We're not claiming the Earth's a flat planet. We're just saying, hey, the surface of the Earth seems like it's a topographical plane, like
Yeah, yeah,
topographical, like it has like landscapes and mountains and stuff. But most of the surface that we know about is covered in water. 70% of the globe, they say, is covered in water. And if water's flat on the surface, then it can't possibly be what they're telling us. So then you would probably start digging into, okay, how can I refute these tests that are being done? Because you can go and do it yourself, or you could just go online and like look throughout all of history. Anyone up until this time, throughout all of history, that's actually gone out and validated that the water is actually curving over distance, and you're going to get disappointed. The more you look into it, the more holes you're going to find in the globe model. Right, you're going to find it's a whole bunch
yeah,
of it. It's more of a
yeah, yeah.
mathematical concept, and that's how it was
Well,
originated, conceptually rather than actually empirically.
okay. you explained it in a decent way. Like the lake analogy is a good analogy. Because yeah, I'm terrible at math. I'm not gonna like pretend I'm good at it and like measuring and like I'm not an engineer or anything. So the concept of it even measuring around is like I'm not here to argue that. you know, like genuinely. And yeah, I'm not trying to be like, oh, like if it's around, like if you guys believe this and you just believe in all these like wacky conspiracy theories, no, not at all. I'm genuinely curious about like what that would be then, because fair play. Like, oh, why don't I just go out and like test if it is? It's just I don't know.
Yeah,
Like, I
you
don't
don't
believe
need
it.
to, and we're not even trying to convince you. We're just showing you
Sure.
some information, and then like encouraging people to think critically and weigh up the information if you want to. If not, that's cool. But look, here's some doors you might not have looked through. Here's some tests in the real world. You can go and repeat them. And we're trying to sort of help people understand, which you already admitted that like they just believe that the Earth's a globe because that's what we're fed from a young age. And then it gets reinforced by teachers and college professors and stuff, and they're just regurgitating the information as well. Most people have never gone out and tested it. Like we talk to
That's a fair point, man.
physicists and engineers, satellite engineers, all sorts of people come through here, mathematicians, and they suck at providing empirical evidence that the Earth's a globe. They're just good at memorizing the books of bullshit that they studied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then there's a ton of
Yeah.
questions. You'll be like, oh, what about this? And then you'll think of something else. You'll be like, oh, what about like the boats over the horizon claim? And we hear the same set of like 20 questions from pretty much everyone that comes through here.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Like that's a very fair reason to believe it, right? You guys are believing this based off like empirical, evidence. Like you're making your measurements, you're doing your stuff. Like what do you think about these explanations though? Like that measure it around, you know what I mean? Like curvature of I don't know, like eyesight and stuff like that, or like sea level,
Yeah, sea
or
level, according to the globe earthers, is why the water would be curving at a specific rate because of gravity. So
right.
that's why that curvature would have to be there if the Earth's a globe. Whereas we would use the proper definition of level, or different definition would be like actually just a flat surface. Kind of like if you wanted to level a section of land to build a property on, you're not going to make it curve, obviously. You're going to make it perfectly flat, right? And that's what leveling something means. So we would say that it's just horizontal, just like what we experience, right? To have a large body of water, you need to have a container, whether it be a pool or a pond or a lake
Yeah.
or a bucket, whatever. You need to have a container, obviously. You can't put the water on the outside of the bucket. That's retarded.
Sure.
Okay, but they'll tell us that all of the oceans are sticking to the outside of a globe, and then they'll have like a magical solution for all of these things that defy logic and common sense, being gravity, which they, where does gravity come from? What is gravity? Oh, they say, well, we have no idea. We just know it has to exist, right? Otherwise, you can't have all of these things.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you have gravity, that means that 22 meters of curvature over a 16-mile lake has to be there. And if it's not there, then that debunks quite a lot of things that we get taught about this reality.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like, yeah, because like gravity, right? Like, so what would you just believe? Like, I'm not going to make the claim that you guys don't believe gravity exists, but like, do you believe? Like,
We believe
what's your thought?
gravity depending on how you define it. Okay, so if
Yeah.
you're just defining gravity as that things fall if you lift them up and drop them, like
Yeah.
most things will just fall. Yeah, if you're just thinking that that's what gravity is, then sure, we agree with that. That happens. But if people start saying
Yeah.
it's because the Earth's a globe and it's a big mass, and then that mass is attracting other masses towards it, like that's
Yeah.
different, right? That's like a different claim. That's something you're not going to be able to prove, like in an experiment. Um, that's something you have to have that type of gravity to have a globe, and then you have to have a globe to have that kind of gravity. It's kind of something that it's like a globe thing, right? In reality,
Good
we
thing.
would say we
Yeah.
live on a flat plane. That's kind of, you could think of it kind of like the foundation or the basement or whatever, or the floor of
Yep.
this system that we live in. And then we have celestial bodies in the sky that are like lights in the sky that move like a big giant clock, and they're responsible for daytime, nighttime, seasons, a whole bunch of other things.
Yeah.
But gravity, like, why does something sink when you lift it up and it's more dense than the air? Like, air is a very light medium. So if you lift something up, most objects are more dense than the air, so they're going to sink through the air, and they're going to go back to where they were, basically. Like, if you have a rock sitting on the ground, it's never going to move ever, unless something comes along and like displaces it. So if you displace it, it's just going to sink back down to where it was. Just say it was not a rock, it was a helium balloon. Okay, it's going to go up because it's actually less dense than the air. And then if you change the medium from air to something else, the object's going to behave differently. Like, you can drop a tennis ball through the air, it's going to sink. But if you drop a tennis ball in a medium of water, it's going to go up because it's less dense than the water. So yeah, it's pretty easy to explain why things like go up or down, like rise or sink on a flat Earth. On a globe, you need to bring in magical forces and things like that.
For things like gravity, right? Yeah, I kind of get it. Is your basis of reality just based on like what you can see with your own eyes? Then, like, is that what
No,
reality
because if the
means?
Earth was a globe, you would still experience the Earth as flat and stationary anyway. So you would have to go and test the things to find out further. So we got kind of like an axiom, or like a baseline. It's like everyone experiences the Earth as flat and stationary, but they say, "Oh, you're so small, and the globe's so big that you just experience it as flat anyway." But really, it's a ball. Really, it's curving. So we go looking at, we're like, okay, if it's a ball, then what characteristics or byproducts of that curvature would be present in nature? And that would be a physical geometric horizon that, like boats go over the horizon argument, or things, things get hidden by the curvature of the Earth, that kind of thing. So we can go and easily test for that in reality. But most people don't know how big the Earth is. Like, you say, oh, what's the radius? Most people are like, oh, I have no idea. I'd have to Google it. And if we say how much curvature there is over 16 kilometers, they'll say, oh, that's not a big enough distance because the Earth's so big. That's not big enough distance to test. And then we'll say, oh, how much curvature would there be over that distance? And once again, they're completely clueless. If we ask them to guess, they'll say some completely incorrect answer. Yeah, we're just like, first thing flat earthers do generally is like learn a ton about the globe that most people don't really think about. The motions, the size, all of the geometry that would go along with it, that kind of thing. And then look at how they actually came up with that in the first place. And what you're going to find is it's not like they went out and did measurements and experiments. It's crazy people like Pythagoras and the people that came after him that were like mystic leaders of like the cult of Pythagoras, and they worshipped spheres, and they thought like the universe was a musical instrument, and the sky was like this big celestial sphere with the stars on the inside of this big giant celestial sphere. And then because that's a sphere and spheres are perfect, then the divine creator would have to have made the Earth a sphere as well. Otherwise, and then so the Earth must be a globe. And it's kind of crazy the way the globe came to become a thing. But we're just testing it out and seeing if it matches up with reality, and it doesn't.
Cool. Yeah, I totally respect that. I think it'd be really cool if the Earth is flat. Like, it'd be way better than it being a globe. That'd just be way more interesting. It's like reality to live in my opinion.
Definitely, man.
It's just cool. But like, how would you explain stuff like the southern stars and like the northern stars, for example? Like,
yep. So there's two big like points, they're called celestial poles. So there's two points of motion in the sky where the stars seem to revolve around. Exactly how that, like, we don't make definitive claims about things we can't go and check. So a whole bunch of assumptions need to be made. But yeah, there's some, like, what exactly is a star? Like, the heliocentric model says all those stars that you can see in the sky, they're all like suns, these ridiculous distances away, and they're in a space vacuum. And all of this story that goes along with it, and there's all dark matter and diamond rain and diamond planets and all crazy claims. We say we're not sure. Like, we all observe the same thing. All the stars will just rotate around the celestial point, like depending if you're in the north or the south, or if you're at the equator, you see kind of like a mixture, kind of like a vortex, kind of like if you were to swish your hand through a pool in the water and you'll see like a whirlpool spinning
Yeah.
one way, and then on the other side it'll be spinning the other way. So yeah, whatever
Okay.
medium the sky's in, however the celestials work, like I don't know, there's some crazy electromagnetic stuff going on up in the sky. I think people like to pretend they know more than they do actually know about it. Even the astrophysicists and stuff like that. There's a lot of
Yeah,
guesswork,
yeah.
and they even admit that. But yeah, like yeah, so yeah, like if you're in a different place on the Earth, you have a limited range of perspective, and
Yeah.
you can only see a certain distance around you, and things will kind of like project into your field of view in a sense. Um, Kind of
Yeah.
like if you stand, just say you're out in the ocean, and you could only see like a certain distance in every direction. So you're seeing like a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
circle. Like the horizon might be 5 miles in every direction. So you look around 360 degrees, it's just a big circle of vision. And then if a plane was to come from, say, in front of you, and you're
Yeah.
going to see it, it's going to look like it comes up from the horizon, right? Due to perspective, it's going to make a big arc over the top of your head, and it's going to fly away and do the same thing in the other direction. Even though that plane was the same altitude, because of the way our perspective works, it looks like a big arc. So we kind of view the sky, the clouds, the sun, the moon, everything like in a big like kind of like a dome of perspective, not a physical dome, but just due to the way our eyes work.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
things get lower in the distance when they move away from you. So yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
lot of mysteries about the sky. We definitely don't claim to have a counter claim for every single claim that the heliocentric model makes, but we're just
Sure.
testing what we can validate. Because if we made a claim about the specific claim about the stars, like what's a star, we're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's like an electromagnetic orb, it's like solar luminescence and blah blah blah, it's
Yeah.
frequencies, and you would be like, can you prove that? And we'd be like, well, and then we would get,
It's hard to really prove something you've never been to, right? Like,
well, it's too high for us to get to. So it's
yeah,
you're
yeah.
there's gonna be assumptions and stuff like that that have to go into it. Like when they measure the distance to the sun on the globe model, right? They had to make a bunch of assumptions. They had to assume that Venus was the same size as the Earth, and a whole bunch of assumptions get thrown into all of the
Like,
mathematics that are behind the globe.
not to sound like not to this before we get asked all the time, but how does that like fit in with like humanity saying, "Oh, we've been to the moon, we've been to space." Like,
Yeah,
does
well, I
that
mean,
change anything? And, like, because like if we've been to space and we've been to the moon, then like I don't know, like does space change that sort of at
yeah,
all?
we
You know
would
what I mean?
say outer space, as we get told in the heliocentric model,
Yeah,
is is impossible to have a big vacuum of space and then to have a planet Earth that's covered in
yeah,
water and gas inside a big giant space vacuum that's 100,000 more times powerful than any vacuum chamber we can create on the Earth. It goes
yeah,
against natural laws. It's not something we can demonstrate. It just exists as a theoretical concept, basically a mathematical model. Um,
yeah,
yeah, so like the moon landings, I don't know if you've
yeah,
actually had a good look at the footage. There's some good films out there, not even made by flat
yeah,
earthers, right? Just like experts in certain fields of like camera work, photography, and they're calling bullshit on it. And then on top of that, the actual footage looks ridiculously fake as well. It looks kind of
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like a studio. And when you see the lunar thing orbiting around the moon, it looks like a little model inside a studio. The way it moves is very unnatural. And then
yeah,
you've
yeah.
got like
I agree. Like, they're sus. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, and they were kind of like fighting for world uh power in the sense of like, oh, we're the first country that can get to the moon, and we're in this space race with Russia.
yeah.
We want to be seen as the country that can do what no other country can do. America, rah rah rah. So yeah, I think that they faked the moon landings because of so many different reasons. Even if I thought the Earth was a globe, I would call bullshit on the moon landings
Same,
just
same.
based.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Buzz Aldrin even said it was fake. Like he straight up just
yeah,
said it to like a little
exactly.
girl,
He
like a little girl.
leaks little things, whatever
Yeah,
he can say without getting himself freaking
yeah,
killed by the
murdered
CIA
probably.
or whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah, right. Like crazy.
little bits and pieces, yeah. But
Yeah, yeah,
at the end of the day, like it's information that we can't verify or validate 100%. It's belief. Like you could believe it or not believe it. You're never going to be able to go and check it. Whereas we say You know, we can go and you can go to a lake, you can buy a $400 camera,
Yeah.
and go to a lake and zoom in across the lake and validate if that curvature is there and go test the shit out of the actual surface of the earth over and over and over again, try to find the curve.
Yeah.
Yeah, big difference. It's like empirical evidence versus faith-based claims.
Yeah. Well, it's like obviously there's going to be like a billion reasons why it's round. You know what I mean? And like there's going to be some very strong reasons as to why it's flat. I'm assuming. Like, what would kind of make you say that you were wrong? Like, what is missing?
Yeah,
You know,
curvature. Curvature.
just
That's
curvature.
that's all we need. It has to be there. It's like the prerequisite for the Earth being a globe. Just a sec. I just got to go on mute because my wife's asking me a question.
All good, man.
Well, anyway, we talk to younger generations all the time, and it's shocking to find out that many of the people we talk to, they haven't looked at the original Apollo moon mission movies and photographs. They haven't done it. Like those of us older folks who were maybe born not too long after those missions took place, we were surrounded with this stuff in our childhood, and there was controversy then
Yeah.
even growing up. But yeah, like the Zoomers today, a lot of them haven't even bothered to check, but they believe that the Apollo moon missions were real. So we encourage them to go check. And often when they do, they come back to us and say, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I bought that horse shit." Looks so bad.
Yeah. It looks fake. I think it's fake, to be honest. I think a lot of space stuff's fake. Like genuinely. Like I don't know. Like even just being, believing the Earth is a globe right now, right? Like the whole Katy Perry going to space. I think that's all CGI. Like that's gonna be fake. Like there's a few things, man. Like
Yeah, it's
you
like
know,
a propaganda.
yeah. And like I understand. Like maybe I'm coming in here being like, oh, like I don't really want to hear about the measurement. Like I just don't understand it. Well, like, he's making great points, but you know, like I don't know. Like how does this might be a funny question, maybe not funny, but like how does flat Earth fit into like religion? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
does
Well,
it
most of the
intertwine
world
at all?
religions are like the old religions are. They
Yeah,
all describe a flat cosmology. Christianity through Judaism, um, the
yeah,
Babylonian cults all had a flat Earth cosmology. The ancient Norse and their pagan myths, they believed in a flat Earth as well. The Vedic texts from India are flat. The Egyptian texts are all flat. Ancient China was flat. In fact, the Chinese were flat earthers until the 1600s.
yeah.
So
That's
we
interesting.
are really at a curious point in human history where we don't accept the flat earth as a culture, as a species.
Yeah.
All of our
But
forefathers, our ancestors were flat earthers.
yeah, good point. That's really true. That is a great point because it would be really
When's
funny
all
if
the
like
water gonna fall off the sides?
Yeah, it doesn't fall off the side, does it? It's contained.
What
it'd
if
be
the
really
Earth is
funny.
flat, just not from our dimensional perspective? What if it is a sphere, but it's technically flat, and we just see it
Yeah,
as a sphere because we see wrong?
that'd be interesting. So that'd be like a four spatial dimensions, right? Like a hypersphere.
No, dimensions aren't like outside of each other. They're packed on top of each other. Our
That's exactly what I
perception just
mean.
determines the dimension that we essentially like quote unquote live in.
Well, right. So
Like
in this case, it is a fourth spatial dimension that we don't perceive, but is nonetheless there. You could have a curving
well,
radius in a fourth
cosmology dictates
dimension.
that there are infinite dimensions stacked on top of each other. Well, not really stacked on top of each other, just folded into each other or out
I
from
don't know
each
if it
other.
dictates it, but
Well, it's kind of the prevailing theory. Like you can't, it,
yeah, until you get down to the Planck scale and you're like, fuck, what do I do now?
ah, well, that's why there's we're just in a glass box in a laboratory theory.
Yeah, like a terrarium.
Yeah.
Yeah, so listen, I mean, we measure Earth flat. Even geodetic surveyors who are paid to measure a globe measure it flat first, and then they calculate it into a ball based off of a chosen coordinate reference system. Like
Okay.
pilots, when they fly their planes over a flat Earth, their coordinates on a screen show a ball that's spinning underneath them, but they're flying over a flat Earth. and all of their measurements, all the instrumentation, like the inertial navigation system, it's taking physically flat Earth measurements the entire time.
Well, no, it's not. There's a computer system in it that actually predicts the curvature of the Earth based on
Well, it
like
predicts,
height.
yeah, the air data inertial reference unit, right? So when that thing is spun up on the tarmac, you have to
Yeah,
provide latitude, or it has to be given a latitude entry. And
yeah.
at that point, it'll take your location, and it will calculate your position for
It's
WGS
just a
84.
line on a graph based on how high you are. It's not really that complicated.
Well, yeah, and it's not measuring a globe Earth.
No, it's not. It's measuring how high you are, and then it's calculating based off of how high you are the curvature of your flight path.
Well, yeah, the curvature is called the transport rate, the rotation, and that's calculated in order to provide a coordinate system on a globe that doesn't exist.
There is curvature,
Well,
but
that's
that's
funny because
because
it's not measured; it's
okay,
calculated.
there's curvature in our perception. The Earth is flat, but it is round to us because, and let me hear me out here. Any significant mass, um, due to like entropy in the glass box theory, essentially, is like slowly leaking out at the center. Like that's why suns slowly get smaller and planets get smaller and everything it's like at the very center of each planet there's a very 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 small Planck scale hole where something's leaking out.
Cool
Someone's
story.
like draining us for energy
That's a cool story. So,
so
is
badly.
gravity reversing entropy?
Well, gravity is more of a byproduct of entropy.
Really? So, do you
Yeah.
believe that gravity is compressing gas towards the surface of Earth?
No,
So then, what's containing the gas in the infinite space vacuum?
gravity doesn't do anything. It just affects perception.
Oh, so then, what is the role of gravity then when it comes to the atmosphere? Does it have any effect at all?
Yes, perception is like the state of the universe.
Not a
Like,
perception. Any physically measurable
okay,
effects
no, 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 no. Think of
that are
it
not
like this.
described?
You put something near a black hole and you take a picture of it with any camera, any sensor. What does it look like? It doesn't change
Oh
in
yeah,
shape, but
who's
the
ever done that?
perception of it changes.
What, like on a computer? Like
Anything. You can
nobody's ever
take, you
done
can
the
take,
black hole.
you can look at it. You can look at something through just a magnifying glass, or I mean, a telescope that's next to a black hole, and it warps its shape. It doesn't physically warp its shape. It warps the perception of it.
Oh
It's because
really?
a black hole is just a larger hole in the fabric of reality or the big glass box we live in.
How do you know that there's gravity around a black hole?
There isn't. Gravity's not real. It's like the force of entropy.
The force of entropy, so it's a force?
No, it's like nothing. It's like you poke a hole in the bottom of the pool. Like the suction isn't anything. The water is just falling.
So the air is just falling?
No, the nothing is falling. Space is
Well, what
energy,
about what about the
anti-energy.
then why isn't the gas that we're breathing exploding into the outer space vacuum?
Because it's a tiny, tiny Planck scale hole at the center of our planet and every other ball out there. Because it forms it by its very nature. And the mass dictates how fast that leaks. We can track this with math.
Well,
This is an
well,
actual theory, by the way. Like this is like
yeah, but
I'm
this doesn't make any sense because we can actually test the behavior of gas and know that it expands without work, without any energy.
yes.
So if the space that we occupy within the
Mhm.
universe is expanding, then
It's not.
why is the gas? Well, it's not. Okay.
Okay, so it's more like you know that force on a yo-yo when you throw it out and it's pulling back as it's going out? It's like it's again like imagine you have like a kiddie pool and you have it propped up and you swirl the water in it and at the bottom you poke a hole. That swirling is our universe expanding. It's inconsequential. What's consequential is the hole at the center of literally everything.
Well, I
We
mean, the
can't
hole the
yeah.
hole doesn't have any space in it until it's filled up with the fluid that flows into it.
No, it's leaking out through it. It's like it's
What, if
because
a cold rain
no
at the bottom
glass
of a
box can
bathtub?
be perfect. No glass
You
box can like never have any leak whatsoever. You can't make a perfect structure that resists entropy. So
oh,
this
of
the
course.
structure we live in is just slowly leaking, and that's what creates gravity.
So what prevents gas molecules from escaping into the vacuum of space?
Us spinning, the atmosphere sphere being created by gravity and our centrifugal force.
All right, so wait, gravity causes the Earth to spin now?
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah, can you measure Earth's rotation? Like, is there a torque vector that we can analyze?
Uh, you can't really measure the force because you'd have to like uh build something really really big to do that, or just have a different understanding of physics than we do at the current moment. But
So how do you know
you
the Earth
can
is turning?
measure the speed of the rotation.
Yeah, well how do you know it's the Earth turning and not the sky at night?
Uh, because we rotate around and through different planets, and you can make a three-dimensional model.
How do you know
And
Earth is the planet?
because we've like sent a lot of people into space, and they say it's a planet.
So is that the only way you know that Earth is a planet? Because we sent
I
people
mean,
to space.
you can like. There's also been like lots of like high altitude balloons and shit like that that have taken pictures of like the entire curvature of the Earth.
Holy
Really? I've
fuck, this
never seen
argument's
one.
falling apart. Holy fuck, you guys are right.
Now, I'm
The
kind of
fuck,
curious
man?
how they measure the curvature of the Earth in order to strike an orbit.
Uh, Wait, what?
Yeah, I mean to put
What
something
did
in
you
orbit.
say? No, what did you say? I didn't hear it.
How do they measure the curvature of the Earth in the first place to have orbital mechanics work?
I don't think we need to measure things for orbital mechanics to work.
Why not? If it's too big, then you don't accelerate enough.
Well, I'm just saying things are going to accelerate without us having any input. They did when we were monkeys.
Oh yeah, like what?
No.
I'm just being facetious.
Yeah,
I'm just saying
so
Earth's been spinning long since before you perceived it to be.
that's a cool story. Now, how do you know it's spinning and it's not the star field that's spinning? Oh, the astronauts. So how do you know how the astronauts measure the Earth in order to go out into space and orbit? Well,
Well, they don't really need to. You can just look at it.
how do
But
you?
that proves my
Like I take a
perception theory.
telescope, I
The
look to
Earth is
Jupiter, and I
actually
see
flat.
Jupiter's like Earth. Like, come
What?
on,
You know,
you've
it's
never
just
seen the
round to
globe.
us.
Like you've never seen the globe. Nobody's ever seen the globe. And if you're shown a picture of it, you don't have enough knowledge to judge whether or not it's correct. So, has anyone ever measured the curvature of the Earth to know that it's a globe?
Yeah, a lot of people from
I'd
different
like
countries and stuff too.
I'd like one measurement. I'd please, for the love of God, can somebody get us a globe curvature measurement that we can verify?
Um, I'm sure I can look that up.
Yeah, we've been looking for about 10 years as a community, and we talk to people through all walks of life. We record our conversations 24/7 and have for the past 10 years. And so far they've been unsuccessful. So maybe you're the one, Neo. The entire cosmic distance ladder depends on this.
Cosmic distance ladder. What's that?
So this is the foundation for the astronomical unit, essentially, that provides the structure of distances for the solar system and the back-engineered supposed masses of the planets to explain their orbits using, Keplerian Galilean mechanics. You
Okay.
know, providing some kind of physical reality to
What?
them, even though
Oh,
nobody's.
the most common test to prove the Earth is curved is you can go on any spot on the ocean, and if you go far enough away, then the ships start to disappear on the horizon from each other.
You know, that's a great urban myth. Everybody says this, but nobody can produce the results. What we do have is extensive evidence of a well documented and well understood marine layer. There's an inferior mirage that takes place very commonly just above the surface of the water, where the water is often evaporating, and you have a temperature differential between the air and the water that's below it. And this distortion is often confused for ships that are being gobbled up from the bottom up as they recede into this. And as they recede further, they recede into the atmospheric haze, subject to Rayleigh scattering. There's like an atmospheric fence, and
No, there's you can look up a
yeah,
video of like the ship slowly. You can see like less and less of the ship.
No,
right,
that's
right.
like I grew up on the coast. I grew up on the east coast of Australia on the Gold Coast, and we have like there's like a hub there where we have cruise ships that go out all the time, like giant ships. I grew up fishing a lot at the ocean and surfing a lot, sitting there waiting for fish or waiting for waves, watching the boats go out. What you see most of the time is just the ship will get smaller and smaller and smaller, and it'll just kind of like fade off into the distance. It'll get
Yeah,
too
because you can't
small
see it
to
with
be
your
able to result.
eyeballs. It's at like several
You
miles,
just
60,000 feet.
yeah.
You need
So
a
if
very
something was
powerful
six,
telescope to see it.
okay. So in the side chat, I just put an example at 28 minutes after the hour, and now we have consumer grade cameras that have crazy zoom capabilities. So we can use these cameras, and it can look like the ship is gone, right, from when you're
That
just
is
standing
not
there
like
looking,
8
and then
miles.
oh,
That is like
no.
that's
The
like
horizon
2.
should be at 3 miles away if you're 6 foot
No, I'm
tall and you're
saying this
standing at the
no,
beach.
no, this effect occurs at like 8 miles away is what they're saying.
Well, no. After 3 miles, the bottom of the boat should start to disappear if you're standing at the beach looking out, and that's well within the
The
range of
calculation
not
I'm
even
looking at is 60,000 feet.
feet. No, I said 3 miles.
Yeah, that's like I'm saying the
Yeah, so if you're
calculation I'm
six
looking
foot
at says
tall,
like it starts at 5.
kilometers.
I'm saying miles.
No. It doesn't start at 5 miles unless you go up higher, like say you're like 12 foot height or something like that. It might be 5 miles. 6 foot height is 3 miles. I remember them teaching me this at school, but I've been researching this for a long time. I know it's 3 miles if you're 6 foot tall. And then at 3 miles, that should be the line where you can't see any more water, like where the horizon's defined as the line where the sky and the ground appear to
It'll
meet.
be easier
And
to see
then
the effect if you're like up on something taller than 6 feet tall, though. Just get up on a
yeah,
platform.
but yeah, I know, but if yeah, we can get up. We've got observations all the way up to the height of airplanes where we can see orders of magnitude further than you would possibly be able to see if the Earth were a globe. We've got observations from 3 inches above the surface all the way up to the height of an airplane, where in every single instance, we can see so much further than you would possibly be able to see on a globe. And we can't find that curvature. We can't find that geometric horizon that should be there at a certain
I'm
distance. It
like looking at
doesn't
videos of this
exist.
right now.
Yeah, I just put some in the side chat there. If you think you've got a video where someone's done an observation and it matches up with the globe, then that's what we're looking for. But no one's ever been able to produce one that's legitimate. So if you think you have evidence of this kind of thing, then we'll go over it in good faith, right? We'll check all of the details, we'll analyze it critically, and we'll just come to a logical conclusion. But you'll be disappointed once it starts getting broken down if you can find one. Because we've got thousands at this point where we have crystal clear conditions and we can zoom across like a 20-mile distance and we can see something completely unobstructed that should be hidden by the height of a skyscraper.
Have you like not been in an airplane?
Yeah, plenty of times. I like airplanes enough to
Just
have research.
What's an airplane? What's an airplane? Define airplane.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
it just doesn't even look flat.
What, through 3 panes of glass on the passenger side?
I've looked out of open windows while flying. I have family members who are pilots.
Yeah. So, if Earth is a globe, you might not still be high enough to see the curvature, right? Because if you're
I
seeing horizon
absolutely have
curvature,
seen the
then
curve,
there's something wrong.
both on land and on sea.
Which way? Curvature like left and right, or curvature forward and backwards?
Are you retarded?
No, I'm not. It's a very important question.
Just can't help some people.
Well,
Bro, don't
Google
oh,
it.
he's gone.
that's just an
Google with
that's an ad hom,
directions.
my friend. Yeah, that's
He
if you
left.
can't answer the question properly,
left.
like if you then you start insulting people instead of answering their question. It's an ad hominem fallacy. Like, try not to do that. You're having a good faith conversation up until that point. Okay, if it's a fact that you would only be able to see 0.1% of the surface of the Earth from the height of a plane at 40,000 feet. That's not high enough mathematically to even see any curvature. I've flown all over the world, and you don't see curvature from a plane, man.
Listen, so from the beginning, when I was child, I studied everywhere I see. They say the Earth is oblate shaped, which is kind of like round, and you're saying it's flat. That's weird, and that means the Google is lying. Everyone is lying. So it's flat now, right?
Dude, I'll just put footage, like a time lapse footage from a flight in the side chat. Even from like 5 times that height, they say you wouldn't be able to see curvature. Even astrophysicists say that from 300,000 feet height, you wouldn't see curvature of the Earth. Relax, bro. MSK, chill, man. Calm down, sir. Please calm down.
I'm calm, man. You
All
can
right,
give
thank
your
you. Remain
explanation
calm.
to my question. All right, dude. Don't worry.
I'm like actually like amazed. Like you guys are actually on. Like I'm not even trolling. Like that guy's argument fell apart in like 2 minutes. Like, that was actually crazy.
The guy said the gravity's like pulling a drain in a bathtub.
Yeah, what the fuck? Like, what is he on about? I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. You guys actually make compelling points.
Thanks.
So, if you
Stick
don't mind
around.
me just saying, my friend, just for the sake of just pointing out that, we were sounding a little adversarial earlier on, but debates, or what do you say, people stopping by like that, I think you'll see why we sometimes get um, a little aggressive a little quickly. So, I appreciate your patience and sticking around with us, friend. It's been quite my honor to have you around.
Oh, Elvis, brother. I understand. You guys like flat earthers, right? So it's like you're gonna get people like that every day. Like, that's not an insult either. Like, that's just gonna come with the territory. Like you guys are going against the beliefs of like probably like a very vast majority right now. But you guys make excellent points.
Yeah, it's usually like hardcore soy boy atheists that are the most furious about flat Earth, or like extreme degenerates. It like completely triggers them because they
Yeah.
think that we're coming from a religious point of view, which we're not even. But yeah, like it seems
Yeah.
like the more degenerate people are, like the more flat Earth angers them and enrages them. So you passed the not a degenerate test for sure, bro.
I appreciate that. Yeah, no, like I'm genuinely like curious, like because like if like you're right, like I've been told like my entire life, like oh that's around. I really just like as a kid was like hey whatever, I don't really care, like to me what they said made sense at the time, but you're right, like you guys have some very good points, so like it Like, but it's a genuine curiosity, like what that does mean then for reality, right? Like if the
That's
Earth
right.
is a flat plane, that's what
Yeah.
I'm like. That's curious. Like that's curiosity. Like,
I still remember the first time I was like driving home from work, going through this early on, and I'm looking at the sun and I'm looking at the clouds, and I'm like, what the hell is that thing? What the hell is
yeah,
the sun? For real? Like, no, seriously, what is it? And the whole sky just felt like it was closer, like the ceiling was a lot nearer because I
yeah,
knew the outer space Big Bang vacuum story was fake.
yeah. Fuck. Wait, does that make the big? Wait, is a Big Bang fake? Is there like big holes
Yeah,
in there
totally
too?
fake, dude.
Jeez, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Flat Earth basically unwinds everything that we've been told, and
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
get to see much more
Like it
easily
would,
what
wouldn't
the
it?
lies
Like,
are.
yeah, yeah. That's true. Like, because it really would. Like, genuinely. Good point. It's all bad. Like, it's kind of like they need this system to work for it to actually like everything else to make sense. I don't know. Like,
Right.
right?
They've had hundreds of years to build this up mathematically and provide
Yeah,
explanations. So, we took up the task of unwinding that. Like, we can tell you exactly how the globe was created and how it's not a
yeah,
measurement at all, and it's just a concept in people's minds that they've reified into reality. It doesn't
yeah,
exist
yeah,
in reality. The territory
yeah.
is not the map, and in their case, they created a map in their minds that became the territory of the real.
Hmm. That's interesting. Oh, it makes a lot of atheists angry. Is that what you said? Like,
Yeah,
because like
atheists
are
get
they
really
like
mad.
super attached? Yeah, like they're very attached to their science, right?
Right, their
Yeah,
materialism, they think they have it all
yeah,
freaking figured out.
yeah. Well,
So then
so
we
like,
say, okay, humbly
hmm,
asking for a curvature measurement of the earth. Do you have one? And what we get are excuses, just tons of excuses and redirections.
hmm. Well, what other like major scientific kind of theories is like a flat Earth like kind of like falsify? Then you know what I mean? Like,
Pretty much anything having to do with astrophysics or any kind of theoretical physics. But I mean,
yeah,
we're champions of science, mainstream science. We're champions of applied physics, of chemistry, biology, and so on. Like, we're not
yeah, yeah, yeah,
we're not proposing some alternate like laws of the universe. We get to keep the actual laws, the same ones that people who believe in the globe get.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, because like I'm not gonna pretend I'm like smart enough to debate you guys. You guys definitely seem like you're way more into this as aspect of science. You know what I mean? Like I'm really built for this.
Well, there are
So
different approaches that people can take. Like, I mean,
yeah,
some people are not going to be swayed by the technical discussions, but they'll be swayed by the philosophical discussions or the social aspect to it. Like, one of the things we
true.
found is it's going to be much, much harder for people to believe that the world is crazy with its globe delusion than it is to accept the verifiable facts of your direct sensory experience that Earth is flat and stationary. That's a fact.
Yeah.
It's harder to accept that the world is crazy sometimes than it is to accept that the Earth is exactly as you see it. And that's what's kind of crazy, effed up about it.
Mm.
So the societal struggle is true. There's a social cost. Like if you go out and declare yourself a flat earther to your boss, to your coworkers, friends, and family, like there's a high probability that they're going to think you're crazy. Maybe want to get your head checked.
Yeah, they're gonna want to make you defend. Same thing with like being religious almost this day and age, like
Yeah.
it's very interesting.
Right. Right. So the funny thing is all you have to do is say, well, what if Earth is as we experience it? It's the opposite
Yeah.
of being delusional. Like what's delusional is when you watch the sun set. But then you say, well, it's not really setting because the sun's stationary and Earth is rotating backwards.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which one of these is delusional?
Yeah, yeah.
Pointing at the moving sun in the sky, like you can point at it and move your arm as it sets.
Mm. Good
Or,
point. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, or like yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point.
right. So that's it. We try to align people's sensory experiences with how they think about the world too, so that they're one and the same. When those two come into alignment, a powerful thing happens in your mind. It starts unlocking doors, and you start to be able to think critically through things in a much different way, a much faster way. Because right now, basically, the entire world has been brainwashed into accepting paradoxes and contradictions as truth. So
Yeah.
if you can brainwash people to think that the Earth is rotating backwards as the sun sets, even though they directly see the sun setting and Earth is stationary, you train people's minds to accept paradoxes, then their minds become more pliable to accept other contradictory terms. They're more pliable to brainwashing and other
Yeah.
avenues in life.
Do you think that that's how it started? How did this doesn't like sound like too conspiracy theorist, right? But like
Yeah.
how did we get to like a flat Earth, I'm sorry, a round Earth as like an accepted point? You know what I mean? Like how did that even happen?
Yeah.
Because I just got told it was flat one day and someone pulled out a globe, right?
Right. If you talk to different members or different people in our community, you'll get different answers. My take is that
Yeah.
this is almost like an urban myth that got out of hand. So
Yeah.
I think it started in the age of sailing. Like that's when it started to get picked up. People were using the stars to navigate, and they're running into mathematical problems trying to get linear distances calculated on a flat surface when they were taking angular measurements of perceived rotations in the sky,
Mm.
as the stars move. So they developed a globe where they started taking the land masses of Earth that they were sailing to and from, and they plastered them into the celestial sphere. And they called that a globe, and it was useful in navigating. And then people started to believe that that was real, that map was reality itself when it isn't. And that's it. We've just been stuck with it ever since. It's been a convention. And you know
Yeah.
what? It works. Like I'm not denying that spherical coordinate reference systems, latitude and longitude, will not get you from A to B. I mean, it will get you there. But the question is, what route are you really taking to get there in real life? And
Yeah.
until you have an actual measurement without using the spherical coordinate reference system, that is to say, you're doing physical measurements apart from that to externally validate it, you have no way of knowing for sure what's going on. So,
Mm.
so our community, when we've done these laser tests all over the world, and we've done these long distance, high altitude observations in infrared, the very fact
Yeah.
that we're seeing things too far away and not measuring curvature means we know for a fact that the unmitigated coordinate reference system that we use, latitude and longitude on a ball, is wrong. And the orientations of land masses as depicted is not going to be accurate. It's not what's really happening in the real world. Their sizes are also going to be off.
Mm.
Because those are created by calculated distances between points on the coordinate reference system, regardless of what distances they're actually measured to be.
Mm. I see.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, maybe a bad example, but illustrative is you ever use like the old GPS devices, you plop them on the windshield, and like you're driving, and your car looks like it's going off road somewhere. And then a second later, it snaps back to the road again.
Yeah.
You know, while this is not happening for this reason, but if Earth is a globe, or if the spherical coordinate reference system is a globe and Earth is flat, then your navigation system is going to have to snap your little car to the grid against where it's actually going on a flat Earth.
Hmm. True.
So, I think this is happening on a massive scale. The errors between a flat and a globe Earth do not accumulate much unless you're going over vast distances. And most people don't have the resources and time and manpower to actually go out and perform an independent survey to determine what the true distances are. It's so much easier to just use GPS and to map things to stars, which they had done before GPS.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, this goes deep. So, You'll hear flat earthers going down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole almost to say like NASA knows the earth is flat and they're hiding it from you. And I don't think that's the case at all.
Yeah, over
My
mythic
take on
sounds
NASA
pretty
story is
plausible.
unique.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, tell me, sure.
Yeah, so let me pop open some references I got for you. I saved these in another server.
Mhm.
The history of NASA, it's quite fascinating. Most people don't know this, but what I'm about to tell you is openly verifiable. Where the hell did I put it? DJ, you there? Where did I put it? Is that under space and rockets? There it is. There it is. Okay. All right, so there was a presidential directive in 1951 in the United States. It's called the Directive Establishing the Psychological Strategy Board. So why would America need a psychological strategy board? Well, a few years prior, America was one of the victors in World War II, and there was this great campaign to cement the Allied victory into the minds of everybody into the world, to make sure that
Yeah.
everybody knew that the Allies won definitively and that America was number one and not to be messed with. So the Presidential Board, Psychological Strategy Board, was developed for this propaganda campaign purpose. The whole point was to strategize psychological operations. And this is actually the genesis of NASA. A couple of years later, in September of 1953, President Eisenhower rebranded it. It was no longer called the Psychological Strategy Board because it was too obvious. He called it the Operations Coordinating Board.
Mm.
So now, yeah, he starts to bury it. And then in 1957 came an executive order that organized the Operations Coordinating Board under the National Security Council, integrating psychological operations within the national security framework. One of their documents that came out of the Operation Coordinating Board, titled NSC 5814, it came out in June 1958, emphasizes the need for a U.S. space program that includes specific psychological exploitation objectives. This is in this document.
Mm.
It's calling for a judicious selection of outer space projects to include those with even limited scientific value or no scientific value,
Mm.
whose primary function is to achieve a favorable worldwide psychological impact for the United States, essentially creating a space program that projects U.S. technological superiority at all costs.
Mm.
So we also have around this memo, we've got letters, working group memos. There's one where CIA Director Alan Dulles appoints his representative to this effort to build this burgeoning space program.
Mm.
The OCB Working Group on Outer Space agreed that the Department of State would be the organization to provide a chairman to head up NASA in its very founding. So the OCB Working Group, the Psychological Strategy Board for PSYOPs, chose the Department of State to nominate somebody for this, for the first director of NASA. And immediately the CIA appointed his representative. Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
It is fucking crazy. There's
Yeah.
language in here like how they plan to use satellites as a psychological exploitation tool to strike fear into the enemy. And I mean, the whole thing is psyops, 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 and missiles,
Can you send me
missiles,
that?
missiles.
Yeah, that's fucking great. That's
So
damn.
I don't get that they're hiding flat Earth. Like NASA's primary objective, if you ask me, based off of its historical founding, the primary objective for NASA, which might be oblivious to 99% of the people working there, is propaganda to project
Yeah.
technological capabilities that may not even exist.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, that like does make a bit of sense if you actually look at like what they do, to be
Yeah,
honest. Like
they could still think
genuinely.
Earth's a globe.
Yeah, genuinely, man. Like I agree with you. Like I've been like seeing because like I guess like the big part of me that actually makes me question all this shit is like how unverifiable space really is. Because like
Yeah,
people like it is so it just looks fucking faked. Like everything that they do around it just looks like fake bullshit to me.
yeah, it really does.
And
CGI
it
and
really
green
does,
screens,
man.
all kinds of crazy crap goes on. And you know what? There might be like a cadre of people at Jet Propulsion Labs or somewhere like that
Yeah.
that are still trying to work out like how to actually go to space and do real orbits. And maybe it hasn't happened
Yeah, like
yet.
the
Maybe
real
they think Earth is a globe, and that's why they're fucking up because they think Earth is a globe and it's really flat.
yeah, it could be. Yeah, bro, it
So,
could be like genuinely like,
right?
it's right, yeah. Like
Very thought too.
that's actually like it's weird to think about. It's super weird to think about because like I don't trust them. You know what I mean? Like I don't really fully trust these like fucking people. So like I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the moon landings are so obviously fake. So what else are they
Yeah,
faking? You know,
yeah, yeah,
there
yeah.
there is stuff that we can see in the sky, and these objects in the sky do appear to be broadcasting some radio telecommunications. But
Yeah.
even that might be in contention. But there is stuff in the sky. But you know what's really weird? Now this is where it gets weird. Um, the subject of transients has come up again recently in the media. There's, I think, some kind of like Harvard graduate who
Mm,
who is enamored with this UAP UFO phenomenon that's resurging in the news. And she and her team actually studied some old like U.S. Army, U.S. Navy research on the upper atmosphere from like the 1940s and
mhm,
50s, and found that there were what they called transients. That there were lights that were seemingly orbiting the Earth, but flying in constellations, like patterns of five
yeah.
equally spaced apart, and that they would reflect light as solid metallic objects would. This is
The
before
fuck?
satellites.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And those transients
Okay.
are now coming up again in the news. So what's really going up there? I don't freaking know. It's possible that maybe satellites are explained by a technology, but they really have no idea what the fuck they are.
Yeah. That's
And in
interesting.
order to
Very interesting.
keep us from going into a panic about aliens and shit like that, they tell us, "Oh yeah, it's just Starlink."
Yeah. Could be aliens. How'd that work? If like flat uh I don't know, alien
Well,
like
I would
the
say they're
alien stuff existing?
interdimensional. Yeah, I think
Yeah, 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 interdimensional.
yeah,
That's a good point.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
That's all yeah,
the
true that.
flat world could be much bigger than we thought, and there are other regions
Yeah, yeah,
where
yeah.
there are
Yeah, yeah,
other
true that.
people living, and who knows?
Because if it's flat in the terms of like it's like the ground, if it's like the ground, you know what I mean, like the floor of
Mhm.
like I don't know, like that's how I'd say. Like if there's no edge, for example, it's just flat floor for as long as it goes, and then everything else is above that. I don't know, like
Yeah, could there be other worlds with other suns that do like a 24-hour Antarctic sun thing?
yeah, I
You
don't
know,
know. What about
who
like
knows?
digging underground?
Who
Because
knows?
like if you dig underground, it still gets hotter. Like
Yeah. Well, it
that's
just so
what is
happens, yeah, that this world is structured that way, right? Like if you go up
yeah,
higher and higher and higher, things get less dense and less dense. And if you go down, down, down,
yeah,
things get more dense and more dense and hotter. And as you go up, things seem to get colder. As you go down, things seem to get warmer. Yeah. Yeah. The
that's
farthest,
crazy.
have you heard this? The farthest they've ever dug is just barely 8 miles.
Yeah, it's like fucking nothing, eh? Like yeah, that's so true.
And what was funny is like the world's top geologists were working there and made all these predictions about what the drill would find, and they were wrong every step of the way.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
I didn't know
yeah,
about
so
that. That's cool.
how do they know? How do they know what's really under the earth? You've got all these seismologists that are like, yeah, we got this big karst layer here, and we got this mantle over there, and I mean, just making shit up.
Yeah. I think part of this is it could be just attributed to like ego too. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
people really want to be right about everything. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that I find this topic, if you approach it right, does require humility. You have to be open to being wrong about
Yeah,
everything.
genuinely. Yeah, that's so true.
And you do this like knowledge inventory. You're like, okay, so I need to know the difference between knowing things and believing things. So let me take inventory of everything that I consider to be true, and let's separate it into two buckets: one of knowledge and one of belief. And
Yeah,
when you go through this process, you find out like, holy shit, there are very few things that I actually know to be true in this world. And the things that I know to be true are things that I've directly experienced myself, or that
yeah,
could be true based off of the likelihood of me experiencing that thing. So all the beliefs go in the other bucket, and you start to find that most of the things in that bucket are things that most of the world people accept as truth, as knowledge, when it's not.
yeah. I
So
get that,
yeah.
man.
And I can tell you that for what little knowledge we can actually acquire in this world, knowing that the earth is flat and stationary as we experience it is something that you can know for sure with 100% certainty. And we can teach people to go find out for themselves. And we do. We give people, we help them with methods and
Yeah,
and execution.
yeah. Right. Well, I appreciate the conversation.
Yeah, thanks for letting me babble.
Oh, well, good. It's like genuinely, I got an open mind about pretty much anything. Like it does make a lot of sense to question it. Like because if they can't prove it's round, then by definition, like it should be flat. Like just based on
Right.
what you see.
They can't prove it's round. Yeah, everything they claim is a measurement really is not. And that's what's so striking about this whole thing is not only do they not have a globe measurement, but we figured out how they calculated a globe to become Earth in the first place.
Yeah,
So we know how the magic trick is done, so to speak. We saw the little trap door under the magician's desk that
yeah.
he pulled a rabbit out of the hat. And
So
once you see it, you can't unsee it. Um,
does it just mean like global warming's
so
all
we have
bullshit
that,
too?
and on
Like,
the other hand, we have our own positive
yeah,
proof claims of flat Earth because we
yeah,
have
yeah.
people who've conducted these extremely well-engineered laser tests in Hungary and
Mm,
the Netherlands and across the UK. In fact, one of our one of our members of our server, he doesn't come around much anymore. His name's Dr. John D. He's actually a physicist and specializes in
yeah,
spectrophotometry. So if anybody knows
yeah,
how the optics of light works, knows what refraction is, it's going to be a guy who's got a PhD in this and specializes it for work.
yeah.
And
I
he
ain't
tried
smart enough to
to
argue against you
prove that Earth
guys,
is
to
a
be
globe.
honest.
He heard about us and flat Earth.
Yeah,
He thought it was crazy, so he took his laboratory equipment and ran all these tests to try and measure the curvature, and he couldn't freaking do it. He's now a flat earther. And he actually takes his laser gear on a road show throughout the UK from time to time and sets up demonstrations
mm,
on the shore, and people can come and watch, and he'll show them flat earth measurements in real time. So
that'd be really
really
cool to
cool
see.
stuff. He's got a YouTube channel. Um, yeah, man.
That's
So
interesting.
this is where we are in 2026. Uh, if you Google flat Earth, you'll find all kinds of crazy shit like on TikTok and Facebook or X that
Yeah,
does
they're really
not
trying to.
reflect what we know or accept as true. You're going to
Yeah,
find like people with fantastic, I call it flat Earth science fiction stories. Flat Earth sci-fi is out there and it's thick, and I hate it. Makes us look like a bunch of crazy retards. So
yeah. Well, true that.
yeah,
True that. There's a lot of stuff out there trying to discredit flat Earth. But they really
yeah,
want to like people really want to like shut you guys up. Like it's sad because like you should just let the facts speak for themselves. To be honest, like it should be like if the Earth is really round, I shouldn't have seen that guy fumble as hard as he did. You know what I mean? Like
right,
when he came
right.
in questioning,
Like
like guns blazing, he fumbled so unbelievably hard, and he was coming in here trying to like prove the Earth is fucking round. Like
that's what's amazing for
you
bystanders
know,
to see, right? I mean, they hear
right?
people come in like this time after time after time for months and years, fumbling around like, come on, I thought it was so easy to prove that Earth is a globe.
Yeah,
Yep,
prove it.
yep. So this
Clearly,
topic really
yeah.
attracts a bunch of nutters too, which is what I was going to say before. I mean, there are people that call themselves flat earthers who are flat Earth believers, and they consume a lot of flat Earth content, but they don't really know how to think critically. And
Yeah, yeah.
and that stuff is frustrating. This topic was also congressionally censored. We've got a video from C-SPAN. C-SPAN is a channel in the United States where all they do is set up like cameras inside the House of Representatives and in the Senate, and they just record legislators. There's not even like much commentary, if at all. It's just like set up and live stream stuff all day. They've been doing this since the 70s. We got a C-SPAN recording where members of the tech industry were subpoenaed to come up and testify in front of Congress. And in this segment, one of the members of Congress is asking the head of YouTube, "What are you doing to censor flat Earth?"
It's crazy.
Like, a topic so freaking stupid and ridiculous, right? That it
Yeah,
requires Congress to have YouTube censor us. You know what was crazy? If you were to like check Google Trends during this time period for the
yeah.
search query flat Earth, you see it climbing. I mean, it was more popular than like Britney Spears and Justin Bieber at one point. And as soon as
Yeah, yeah,
that
it's getting a big
censorship
traction,
went in
yeah.
place, boom, flat Earth as a search query dropped down to the bottom, just straight down nosedive to the basement. And suddenly flat Earth was no longer a trending topic. Imagine that.
Yeah. Well, what's the old saying, like what's the old saying? Like if you're guilty, or like if you're not guilty, you got nothing to hide, They wouldn't have to censor you if it wasn't true. You know what I mean? Like the fact that
Yeah,
they're censoring you says something, like genuinely, like
right. So
because if it is
they
flat,
still,
like somebody like we would have the capabilities to like actually travel beyond it. Like governments would have that. You know what I mean? Like they would have that if it is like if there's no edge, for example, if it just continues on, like that's the plane of existence, right? Like you would be able to continue on. Like I don't know, and it'd be easier just to keep it like a globe secret, I guess. I don't know.
Mhm.
Like
Well, they still believe that Earth is a globe, I think, and what they recognize is that if flat Earth becomes popular, then it just
yeah,
it creates a divide, a distrust of
yeah,
government and institutions. That's what they're worried about. But here's the
yeah,
thing:
yeah,
since
yeah.
we know the Earth is flat, we know that governments and institutions actually have a lot to lose in terms of credibility. And
True, true, true.
and I think this topic needs to be handled delicately to make sure society doesn't fall apart.
Mm,
So,
that's fair.
how, yeah, and that's why I think it's gracious to also almost give the benefit of the doubt and say it's not that people are hiding flat Earth. The government's not actively hiding flat Earth so much as they're just projecting technology and power that may not exist.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
good point too.
and
That's an
everybody
excellent
working
point.
there still thinks Earth is a globe. So,
Well, do you think like the what's it called? Like the whole because I like this idea that NASA is just projecting stuff that they don't have. You know what I mean? Like because it does make like it honestly makes a lot of sense to me. Like just with everything I've seen, like the moon landings and stuff. Do you think like the Mars rover is real, or
mhm,
do you think it's just like out in the desert somewhere? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm
what's your
I'm pretty
thoughts?
sure that it's out in the desert somewhere, or potentially in near Greenland.
Yeah.
Have you heard about this near
No, I
Greenland?
haven't. No, no, no.
So
What's
there's an
up there?
island. There's an island called Devon Island west of Greenland. It's in northern Canada.
Mhm.
NASA has a Mars expedition test site where they have full size Mars rover replicas cruising
Mhm.
all over this island. It's like uninhabited, never inhabited, desolate and sparse. And I tell you what, if you take their footage and you apply like a red filter, the terrain looks just like
Really?
Mars. Oh, dude, yeah, totally. Absolutely does.
Really?
Yep. Yep.
That's,
Devon
you know what, man, I will look into that, like, genuinely, because, like, it like, I don't trust NASA, like, genuinely. It's just, like, everything with space just seems like such bullshit to me. Like, I don't know.
It
It
is
seems
crazy,
too
dude.
real.
And here's the other thing. I think that facility was actually not publicly disclosed. So what happened was is people were wearing fitness trackers. And when you wear a fitness tracker, your app will connect you to a community and you can see where other people are in the world
Yeah.
wearing your fitness tracker. And people started noticing all these fitness trackers on Devon Island. People are like, what the hell? What's
Oh,
going on
really?
in Devon Island? Like, you're not supposed to go there. Like, it's a nature preserve. And then NASA's like, oh, guys, hey, yeah, hi, we have a Mars expedition test facility here. We're just testing rovers.
On the one place that looks exactly like Mars on Earth. Lovely. Love it. Wow.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
fucking
I don't,
stupid. Oh my god.
I don't think,
Are you fucking
yeah,
serious? Is
that's to
this
be
true?
taught.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. What the fuck is this, man? What?
Are you pulling images up? Yeah,
Yeah,
it says
yeah,
actually
like
public push
what?
it.
Holy shit.
Holy shit's right.
That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. What? Yo, I kind of like. I asked that like not expecting an answer. Like that's such a strong answer too. Like that's fuck, man. Neil deGrasse Tyson must be like spewing when like, holy fuck, man. Like poor guy. Like holy shit.
And
Damn.
then it gets bad, right? Because we've gone through footage from the Curiosity rover and the other rovers on Mars. Their
Yeah.
panoramas. We're finding like we found a barrel, like a rusted barrel,
Yeah.
out in the middle of the desert. We found a crushed up juice box. Don't know how that got there.
Also,
We
a
Oh
found
gate.
really?
There was an
birds.
iron gate. I've seen an iron gate.
Birds?
Birds, yeah. Iron Gate, birds. Yep. I've seen several
Oh, a
birds.
lot. Oh, that's crazy. Oh wow. What the fuck? Oh, that's crazy. That's actually crazy. Nah, like I don't trust them for shit. Like ever since I saw that Katy Perry space video, that just obvious CGI, like nah, no. Like they're that's that's like 100 times more compelling. Like that just explain that. Like someone explain that?
I know.
Probably not, man.
Oh yeah, the Arctic lemming. DJ just posted it. So there's an
Yeah, that's
Arctic
crazy.
lemming. Yeah, on Devon Island. The top images were supposedly from the rover. But there it is.
What the
There's a little Arctic lemming between the two rocks, sniffing around.
some guy didn't catch it from the fired or got executed. That's a joke.
Right.
Like that's what the fuck,
Right.
man?
So you're right. So they're doing this. They're not hiding flat Earth, man. They're just projecting. They're just
Yeah.
projecting this for like technology sales or something.
Yeah, like
Don't
they want people to
power.
think that they have the power to like leave Earth or something, or
And
like
here's
I
the
don't
thing:
know.
wouldn't it be great if you were invited as another member of the space community to come be a part of this? And now you're
Yeah,
faking space too for your people. And then what you say is you tell them this is for national security, for international security. We're all going to blackmail each other with the space program fakery. And if any one of
yeah,
us gets out of line, we blow the lid.
yeah.
It's
That
kind of
space
like a
isn't
bunch of
real.
mafia
Yeah,
bosses getting together
that's such a
who all
good
have
point.
dirt on each other because everybody had to murder somebody to get a seat at the table. And now they can trust each other with mutual blackmail. So what if the space program is the mutual blackmail program for international security?
That's a good point. That is such a good point too, to be honest. Like that is a great point. Excellent
You
point.
know?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying, man. Like that's actually crazy. What the f
The Apollo, the command module or what lunar module. Look at that thing.
Yeah,
Look at
that's
that thing.
fake bullshit.
It's like
That's
wibbly wobbly. It's on strings in a warehouse. They're rotating it.
yeah, that's crazy.
Dude.
I've never seen that footage before. I've only seen them like on the moon. That's crazy.
Yeah, they don't want to show you the goofy shit. They're embarrassed about it.
That's like straight out of Star Wars, man. Like what? That's like straight out of George Lucas. Like what the? That's worse, to be honest. Like they did a worse job. What the fuck? That Devon Island thing, that's crazy. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
God. Okay.
It's the biggest rabbit hole that you can go down, man. This flat Earth thing.
Mm.
You'll never be bored. It's true. Like David Weiss says this a lot in his videos. I don't really like his style and stuff, but he's right. You will never be bored in your entire life when you start digging into flat Earth. You will learn
Yeah.
things that you never thought you'd learn in your whole life, and it's interesting.
Yeah.
You just can't like share it with people that unless they're into flat Earth too.
True. I mean, like right now, honestly, like I have no reason to believe the Earth is round. So, like, apart from what I've been told, you guys have made a compelling point about it being flat. I don't understand it enough yet to be like, oh, I'm a flat earther, right? But I'll look into it. I'll come back and talk some more. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by, man. You're welcome anytime.
appreciate you guys, man. I'm gonna go get some sleep. But yeah, I thank you guys so much. Very interesting stuff.
All right. You're welcome. Have a good night.
Thank you, man. You too, man.
Catch you later, man.